Hello everyone, and unless you have been living under some sort of rock or are the type of person who prefers spending their time with friends and kissing people, then you've probably heard about Star Citizen, brainchild of Wing Commander mogul and mysterious probable mafia front Robert Space Industries via developer Cloud Imperium Games. Now bear with me because we're about to throw down some opinions.
First, however, some history. The most exciting part of any review.
Star Citizen is a crowd-backed project still in its alpha, very pre-alpha, according to them, but is still playable in only the loosest sense of the word. Now, we're going to take a few moments to show you how this heavy quotation mark game runs on each of our systems.
The system we do most of our play for the show on is a PC that was built by Norse gods and runs on plutonium and smug attitude. The other one of us has a decent PC, good enough to play most titles on at least highish graphic settings. Nothing fancy, but it does the job.
Now, we bring this up because we both own this game for a spell, and each own our own feisty ship, which comes with the generic multiplayer version of the game, and a copy of the story mission, Squadron 42, which isn't really playable yet, because why would it? And back in E3 2018, they released an Alpha 3.2 teaser, so I guess we'll be an Alpha, very pre-alpha.
The game boasts spectacular scenery, billions of locations to go to, likely dangerous. And unlike ED, you can actually move about as your character and not just sit in your vehicle for your entire life.
You can also have multi-personnel ships with stations for communications, weapons, engineering, lazing about, porn allocation, ship's turrets. And the single-player game Squadron 42 has a story mode with an alarmingly large cast of nerd-joygasm, including actors such as Gary Oldman, Mark Strong, Sophie Wu, Andy Serkis, John Rhys Davies, Gillian Anderson, and even Mark Hamill, who of course was in Wing Commander 3 and 4 as the live-action version of protagonist John Q. Curlyman, whatever his name was, from 1 and 2, and maybe some other things.
Luke Skywalker! But therein lies the problem with this thing. Appears. It's all crowdfunded, and instead of just making a donation and waiting, how you donate is by buying a fancy ship with a copy of the multiplayer Star Citizen. You're going to end up throwing about $60 for a starter ship and the game, which is the cost of a new complete actual game of actuality. This is $60 for a theoretical game with less to do and accomplish than No Man's Sky.
Now tack on another $40 for the Squadron 42, adding on to the fact that you can't even play it yet if you get it as a bundle, and you've dropped $100 on this. Awesome. That's great, really.
And now you lie into the big problem number 2. This is how it runs on a decent system that runs Fallout 4 at high at 59 frames per second. Now with the God Box, or as it's cleverly nicknamed,
Big, McLarge, Huge,
it runs okay. Okay.
Basically, to run this game at a frame rate that won't make you want to throw your joystick into the nearest bit of drywall, you would need a computer specifically designed and generated by MIT students Fever Dream and Nelson Gonzalez's big neon green dick.
Now keep in mind this game had its first alpha release in 2013, and we're now running this stupid thing in 2019, where it's gone through heavy changes, such as migrating over to Amazon Lumberyard from CryEngine.
So what does this mean? It means that the game is now in 3.4, which is a version of alpha, very pre-alpha, and it does boast a slightly better performance on less buff PCs. But each iteration leaves the game feeling a bit different.
Such recent patch updates include, your ship will load halfway into the hull of the station.
Arena sometimes I'll load inside of my engine. That's pretty great.
And my personal favorite, loading in, to the game giving you a big fat, nah, this is what we're doing today. Why don't you go play Elite Dangerous, fatty?
To get down to the meat of it, when you're inside the game, you're left feeling with a very looming feeling of, well, okay, and that's not good. It's sort of the overarching problem with early access games in general, and what you find so heavily on Steam.
This is not a finished product, and experiences may not reflect in the finished game. Plays in your head over and over and over again as you think about how much fun you could be having later. And the problem there is there's nothing quite like the first time you boot a game. A game really is only as good as its first impression, and early access sort of smudges all of that. And to be fair, this shit wouldn't have flown back in the days of gaming.
Yes, we had demo discs in PlayStation Magazine and the like, but this isn't the same as a demo. This isn't the Final Fantasy VIII demo with Quest machine gunning a human soldier in the demo, and then a final product, it's a giant robo Spidey boy. With early access, it's beta testing without the compensation.
I know this sounds like a diatribe, and maybe that's what it is, but this is what this game does to you. Playing this game is like a lecture you signed up for that was supposed to be about pew-pew lasers and face-melting light speed and tits. But you get there and it's just Ben Stein talking to you about the theory of the lint he found his belly button. Or is that EVE Online?
It's a game that promises a lot, but keeps us in limbo, and then on the delivery date, we probably get a skeleton of the Colossus that was promised. It's Anthem. It's No Man's Sky. It's maybe Cyberpunk 2077. Who knows? We'll see. But it's just like every other AAA developer lazy cash cow that's become all too prevalent these days. And for whatever reason, we lap it up like so many Olivers with an empty bowl begging, "Please, sir, I want some fucking more."
I don't think he said fucking.
He wanted to.